I'll start with you, Rajeev. My key question in this debate is that with the implosion that we've seen in the BJP, the Humpty Dumpty, the Alice in Blunderland, and everything that's been going on in the last week, does that leave us without a strong, credible opposition, an opposition that has an ideology, and therefore will it hamper policy making?
No, look, Menaka, I don't know if it's leaving us without an opposition. I think it's early days yet. But if it does, that's bad news. Obviously, it's extremely important in today's politics and in the fact that we are facing serious challenges to have a credible opposition, and not just an opposition that just sits out there and is an opposition, but from a point of view of pressuring the government to go out and take the right decision. So I think it's important to have an opposition. It's important to have an active opposition. It's important to have the constructive opposition, but I think it's early days to start writing off the opposition as it is today.
Rajeev, you're in Parliament. What kind of? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a slightly different take on this, Menaka. I'll tell you where I come from. One of the primary roles of Parliament is oversight of the executive and oversight of the government. And if you look at what happened in the last session, budget session, there was for the first time, there was some meeting of minds between the two national parties on a number of issues. And that really sent out good signals on possible consensus on a number of ticklish issues as we go down this legislative calendar of the next 5 years. The problem with an insecure opposition or an opposition in disarray is it pretty much lays, it completely lays bare the fig leaf of any political consensus around the key economic issues. And my concern is not so much about BJP being in disarray or opposition being in disarray. My concern would be more about this emerging green shoots of political consensus around the key economic issues being put to rest because suddenly there is more politics, regardless of whether it's internal politics or whether it's external politics. That I believe is the biggest threat out of this melodrama that's been played out in Delhi in the BJP.
Yeah, Rajeev, different kind of green shoots. Really, does this? How will this hamper the cause of business? Because big business seems to be as close to the Congress, as the BJP's right of centre policy would have put them. So in that sense, will it really impact governance? Yes, it will impact checks and balances. It may impact to some extent if the opposition is not strong and unified and doesn't ask all the right questions. But business interests, key policies with regard to business, will that get hurt in any fashion, Rajeev?
No, look, I don't see this as business being close to Congress and business being close to the BJP. I think the issues, for example, you take the Right to Education bill. The Right to Education bill is a bill that that is suggesting private investment in education. Now, that is clearly a policy that finds support within the BJP and in the Congress. And if these two mainstream parties work together, you clearly have a passage of a bill that lays out a new paradigm and a new framework for education in India. Now, that has worked so far because the BJP and the Congress are seemingly cooperating. I don't know if it's tacit, it's unconscious, conscious, whatever. But if the internal politics of a party forces a party to start becoming more political and therefore seemingly less constructive, I think that is as big a threat to what we are going to do in the next 5 years as, let's say, the ability of an opposition party to have oversight over the government.
Rajeev, last word to you. So two questions then. Really, what does this mean over the course of the next 2 years? If the BJP is not able to put its house in order, do you see other opposition parties trying to hijack the agenda, so to speak, and what impact will that have? And are you expecting the next session of Parliament to be hijacked by all the fireworks that Jaswant Singh's book has unleashed?
I really don't know, and I hope not. I think the last session of all the sessions I've attended in Parliament in my little career in Parliament has been the most satisfying and the best session that I've had experience to attend. And I think, like Rajeev says, I think the BJP crisis, let's hope it's more of an internal soul-searching crisis and it doesn't spill over to Parliament, and that's my fond hope. Let's just keep hoping that.
You don't think it opens the window, Raji, for other political parties or other opposition parties, so to speak, to hijack the agenda to some sense and kill that consensus that you actually saw in the last session?
No, I mean, I think it's very difficult for anybody to replace the BJP in Parliament because of the way the numbers are. I mean, the elections are over. This is the way the status quo is going to be for the next 5 years. And that's not going to change because of any internal squabbles within the BJP. The numbers that the BJP have are going to be the numbers that the BJP have, and they are going to be the largest opposition party. That's not going to change for the next 5 years.
Rajeev, last question and more in jest to you. You want to take on that mantle?
No. I have no delusions of grandeur. I'm happy where I am, and I leave politics to experts like Rajdeep and others.